Gonna start again. So this is an apology for my earlier video. My mind isn't clear, so I might be rambling, but if you stay with me, it will be focused enough. It'll be clear enough for you. Basically, things have been bad. They got to a place where I would have ordinarily taken myself to hospital. I've done that quite a few times before. I know when to take myself, and today was one of those times. I should have taken myself to the hospital, but possibly because of the coronavirus and not having been accepted 3 or 4 times recently, and the time before that, the staff aggravating my situation. Essentially, things been a little weird from a normal perspective. From my perspective, life wants me to reassess the way I go about things. So I've had a little think, which isn't normally appropriate to this when things are that bad, you don't normally have to think, you just know what to do and you get on with it. But because things have been a bit weird lately, it sort of allowed me to think at a time I wouldn't ordinarily have had to. Now, in that thinking, I've had to accept a few things, and I'm going to attempt to get myself back on track to a place that is acceptable by society. Now, I say that with a slight smile because I know within myself, given everything that I've experienced in my life, I am justified for my earlier video. And I dropped my head in shame because I told you to fuck off. And I still mean it. But ultimately, the situation on this occasion didn't call for it, because I'm not going to hospital. It's questionable would I have thought about not going to hospital if I hadn't have told you to fuck off. It doesn't really matter. So it's either a thank you for hearing my fuck off and sending your consciousness to me, or it's an apology that I spoke in haste. I still mean what I said. That's how I feel. That's how I see the world. Anyway, the news is that I've got to do what I call going blue. It's an energy. It's like basically one occasion in the past where I pushed myself to stay focused and not surrender to feelings, sensations, emotions, and pressures. It's almost like I turned myself blue on an energetic perspective. If I saw myself energetically, it would have been like this blueness, very cold, but ultimately born from that was a consciousness whereby I now recognize as the last place. Now bear with me on this because I need to take my time getting it out. The last place I can reasonably justify my own behaviours basically from that it's like, imagine I looked at my life and I saw my life in its entirety and I said, right, to be fair, I could have been at fault there. I don't know if I was, but I could have been at fault there, I could have been at fault there, and I could have been at fault there. And with that cold blue energy that I sat in, I said, fine. I might have been responsible, I might as well take responsibility. And I applied a certain level of consciousness and spiritual teachings and everything I am to coming back from that coldness to a place I could stand next to somebody and smile and converse despite what I'd been through in my past. And I feel I cleaned quite a lot of myself, and to reference it, that's where I drew the line, so to speak, of to a certain extent my own karma. And everything that I've experienced since then, which has been bloody weird, and it's been extremely hard and difficult and unpleasant, etc., etc. Has all been, in my own opinion, unjustifiable from what I can see as a human being. If I'm really sincere, it's unjustifiable. I need to be like enlightened to really gain an awareness of how I am responsible for everything that's happened since then. But I realised that that place where I drew the line, where I could smile, was a place I could possibly go back to and possibly get myself out of the situation of where I find myself now. So it's taken all of the rants and the live streams I've done so far to see that things are so bad, I might as well go back to that previous state of being, regardless if I'm right or wrong. And that's what I'm going to try and do. I'm going to try and go back to that previous place of a certain mindset. The live streams will continue when it's difficult, so they will probably be more rant based, but hopefully they'll start off with me effing and blinding, and by the end of it, if you stick with me, I don't know, you might get something out of it, of what I've had to go through in my own life, and the little bits of insight, like this bit of paper here. It's all going to be back to front, I think, with the phone. But I've got loads of these little bits of paper. My past hell, my present hell, I accept the same for the future. Now, these little bits of paper are the mindset that take me from that place of, I don't know, depression, whatever you want to call it, and put me in a place where I can smile. They all sound a bit depressing, I know, but within them is what's needed to connect with people again. So I don't know if I'm gonna, how they're gonna go, if I'm gonna be talking about them. I think I've sort of let go with this whole live stream thing, and I know it's needed for my situation. So thank you if you do listen. I know it's needed for my situation because when reality hits, things are really bad, and that's reality. And I feel that I'm being put upon by everybody and anybody and anything. As much as I hate to admit it, talking my way through it, expressing, and hopefully focusing on the bits of paper, will get myself straight again. So really, it doesn't matter if you watch it or not. Anybody watches it. All that matters is I do it. Yeah. So sorry again. Oh, get this. There's another bit of news. Now, imagine I hadn't decided upon this today. Imagine I was still as depressed as I was in all the recent live streams. I've just found out I'm likely to be evicted because of my situation. Because of the noise I've been making, the shouting, the banging. It's all justifiable. I've got a little bit of grace because of the pandemic at the moment, and apparently they have to give me some sort of leeway. They can't do it immediately. But there's no way in hell I can really put that on top of myself. Without having decided what I've decided today. So God knows what would have happened if I hadn't decided this. Anyway, please have a think about speaking out, because I know you know, and I don't want to tell you to fuck off. I want to say I love you. I want to say I love you because you're a human being, and that's where I know we're all at, instead of these egotistical games we play as human beings in modern day society, where we pretend we don't know and we keep stum. And it's only because of my life experience that I'm speaking out. Otherwise, I would have been stum as well. There's no way in hell I would have shouted out. I would have spoken up. No way in hell. So, I guess all I can ask is that those who know, just have a think about how it would be possible to speak the impossible. because this can't carry on. One way or another, this can't carry on. Myself not included, this can't carry on. For yourselves, this can't carry on. I know that within your stummness, you're in hell too. Ultimately, yes, I have a certain disposition towards being a certain way, passionate and outspoken, and that's the way I interact with the world. But ultimately, there's no real difference. If you were born with the same circumstances and experiences as I've had, you would have done the same. And I would have done the same as you if I had your experiences and life. What I'm saying is, if I can see clearly to label all of this as hell, I'm saying within your lives, the place where you lack clarity, there's more life to be had. Now, if we all had that life together, it wouldn't be hell. That's why I asked you to speak out. But I know what I say needs to be said. But exactly how that looks and will play out, I don't know. So anyway, I hope you can hear the slight more positive tone to me. And I know. My past hell, my present is hell. I accept the same for the future. I want to explain it. I don't want to leave it there that this slightly depressing haiku, or whatever you want to call it, is clarity for me. But what I'm saying is, I've been through hard times in the past. And present is hard. And all I'm doing is accepting the same for the future right now. If not more. And keeps me grounded, I think. Yeah, well, I might have to have a little think about each saying before I express them to you. But anyway, have a lovely weekend.